Hey, how's it going, guys? This is DJ Face20 here, and I'm back with you another playoff prediction week. Last week was freaking crazy, insane. I went 2-2 last week, so the games I got wrong are Philadelphia versus Falcons. Philadelphia somehow pulled that one out, and the Jaguars versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, which that game is just surprised me. It came down to a last second 42 points on that defense for the Jaguars. So, I mean, to be fair, they kind of did also win the game. But let's get into this week. You know, obviously, the two teams we have playing this week are the NFC Championship, the Vikings versus the Eagles, and the AFC Championship, the Jaguars versus the New England Patriots. It's so crazy that three quarterbacks in this are Case Keenum, Nick Foles, and Blake Bortles. And if you told me those three quarterbacks would be in their championship games at the end of the season, I would have called you crazy. But without further ado, let's get into this first game. So the first game we got is the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Vikings. Eagles again got done at home. Nick Foles did decently well, okay? See, he didn't throw a touchdown, but he never turned the ball over, and he threw for over 200 yards and had a 100 quarterback rating. Now, he did what his team needed him to do to win. It came down to that defense and special teams. Elliott had a great game kicking field goals, although he missed a PAT, which almost, could have been a terrible thing happening. But you have some lucky breaks the Eagles got, like the hit off of the knee that Torrey Smith caught that went into that huge field goal at the end of the first half. The defense, though, stepped it up. The last play of the game, obviously, the defense was collapsing on Matt Ryan. Threw it to Julio, incomplete. From their game over. They have a Vikings team who played a great, solid game versus the Saints. The beginning of that game, the Vikings had it locked down. Now, I thought the game would not even be close, 17-0. The Saints made a comeback, looking like they were going to win, and then almost like a miracle, an unfathomable play happened. Case Keenum hit Diggs for that touchdown as time expired. That blew my mind. Congratulations, Vikings. I'm happy to see that the Vikings, Eagles, Jaguars, three teams who have not won a Super Bowl have a shot at winning one. Now it's going to be hard because you have Tom Brady on the other side, but you never know. Maybe Bortles pulls that one out too and the Jaguars beat the Patriots. But for this game, it's going to be tough to decide. I think for the Eagles, this may have been the best matchup they won. I don't think they would have done that well against the Saints as they would against the Vikings. Now, here's what I think. Keenum did amazing. He did a great job, but the running game is going to get shut. The running game is not as good, at least for the Vikings, to where, the Eagles can shut down that run game. The defense can hold them, I think, more than they could have held a Drew Brees passing attack. I think they can probably hold Case Keenum's passing attack better than they could hold that. Now, will that happen? That is the good question to ask. Now, they held Matt Ryan's passing attack, which, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, probably one of the best combinations in the NFL. So if they can do that, then I would not be surprised if the defensive backs can actually hold the Vikings. Now, the run game is going to be decently stuffed, I think, on the Eagles side. The Eagles have done a really good job stopping the run all year, actually. Now, you have the Vikings, who need to stop the run there for the Philadelphia Eagles, because you don't know if they're going to be passing as well, because Nick Foles, again, did a good job. So you have Nick Foles, who has to throw against a really good secondary in the Vikings. Now, Xavier Rhodes, I don't know if he's 100% hurt, but I know he's not 100% himself. He suffered an injury going into the game, and he even hurt himself during the game. This one is probably going to be a great game. I have no doubt in my mind, but the winner of this game is going to be the Minnesota Vikings, and they're going to reach the Super Bowl, in my opinion. I think that's who's going to win. Look, again, like I said, I am an Eagles fan. I just don't... It's hard for me to pick against them, but I think right now the Vikings may have a better overall team, in my opinion. And the thing that's scary, even if Keenum got hurt during the game, you'd have to worry about a Bridgewater or Bradford coming in, and even then, look at that. I mean, they're pretty set with quarterbacks. So I think it's going to be a better game. They have to play outside in the cold. against the Philadelphia Eagles at home, and that environment is going to be tough. I think it's going to be a squeaky win. My final score, 27-24 Minnesota Vikings. Now next up, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the New England Patriots. Now, Patriots, that first drive, Mariota came down the field, scored, and people were like, oh my goodness, it's going to be a good game. No, it was a laugher. The defense did what it had to do. The offense did what it had to do. And there's nothing much talking about that from there. Now you have, on the other side, you have the Jacksonville Jaguars, who Blake Bortles had a better game than he did against the Bills, which that's not saying much. Throwing for 83 yards and running for more yards than you pass is hard to do, especially as a quarterback for the Jaguars. Now, the Fournette was amazing. Over 100 yards and 3 touchdowns for Fournette. And you have the defense who, although they did let up 42 points, I will say that. They were, like I said, they were playing against a better offense. They still are the reason that the Jaguars won, in the fact that they had 3 turnovers and they scored off of all of those. Now, that again, you could have had the Jaguars, they could have lost. Maybe Pittsburgh decides to kick 2 field goals instead of going for it twice on 4th and 1 on the Jaguars side. Maybe they don't kick that onside kick, but Jaguars played a good game. They have one of the best defensive, if not the best defense in the whole NFL. But they're going to have to face a New England team with Tom Brady in Foxborough. Now, I think that's where the line is drawn for that defense. Now, the run game, James White had a good game against the Titans. I just don't think that maybe the Jaguars stop James White, theoretically speaking, but I don't think they'll be able to stop Tom Brady. I think this will be a great home environment. It's going to be cold. Jacksonville was cold in Pittsburgh. If they think that was cold, then it's going to be freezing in Foxborough. I think this one is going to be a final score of 28-42 in the Patriots' favor. And the Super Bowl matchup, for my opinion, is going to be the Minnesota Vikings versus the New England Patriots. Vikings, congratulations, would get in that, and if that happens, the Vikings would get home field advantage in the Super Bowl. First time a team has ever done that, and they could win it. It would be crazy for the Minnesota Vikings fans, obviously never winning a Super Bowl. And that's it for this week of NFL predictions. You guys tell me what you think. I know it's a little bit lengthy. I'm trying to give as much insight as I can. I don't want to just sit there and be like, that team's going to win. This is why that team's going. This is why. I'm trying to give you more in depth. I'm sorry if I'm too wordy on some of the stuff I was talking about. I apologize for that. But I want to know what you guys think. Who's going to be in the Super Bowl? Now, it's going to be great. Both games, I feel like, are going to be pretty good games. They're going to be fierce, competitive games. And the Super Bowl will be interesting. You're either going to have Case Keenum or Nick Foles in the Super Bowl. Who would have thought that? You're going to have maybe Blake Bortles in the Super Bowl. I mean, and Tom Brady gets in, that's not as fun, right? But tell me what you guys think. Tell me if I'm right. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me what you think will be the big factor in this week's game. Have a good week. Have a good Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And I hope to see you guys in the next video.